Welcome to A Slice with Dice, a place for honest conversations about the realities of education. I'm Corey Alderdice, Executive Director of the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. I've spent nearly 2 decades navigating the joys, challenges, and unexpected moments that come with leading schools. Each week, I'll share what works, what doesn't, and everything in between when it comes to igniting the full potential of our communities. I'm excited to share this journey with you, so let's get started. We're diving into a fascinating yet troubling statistic about admissions at one of the world's most prestigious universities. A recent analysis revealed that 1 in 11 Harvard undergraduates come from just 21 high schools. That's right, 21 high schools out of the roughly 26,000 high schools across the United States. This finding touches on a concept known as feeder schools. These are schools that year after year send a significant number of their graduates to elite universities. But what does this mean for students from across the country? What are the implications for equity in college admissions? And what lessons can we draw about the pathways to these highly selective schools? Let's unpack this together. We'll start with what makes these 21 schools stand out. Feeder schools typically share certain characteristics. Many of them are elite private schools. Think Andover, Exeter, St. Paul's. Others might be highly regarded public magnet schools like Stuyvesant in New York City or Thomas Jefferson in Northern Virginia. These schools are known for their rigorous academics, extensive extracurricular offerings, and connections to top colleges. They often have college counselors who maintain relationships with admissions officers at elite universities. And these counselors don't just help students with applications, they're strategists, mentors, and advocates. Their letters of recommendation might carry more weight because of the reputation of their schools. And perhaps more importantly, students at feeder schools are immersed in a culture where attending an Ivy League school feels not just possible, but expected. And this culture shapes everything from the courses students take to the activities they choose to how they prepare for standardized tests. But here's where things get complicated. While these feeder schools can be extraordinary launchpads, they also create barriers. Most of them are either incredibly expensive or incredibly exclusive, or both. Tuition at top private schools can rival or exceed college tuition. Even highly selective public magnet schools often have admissions processes that favor families with both the resources and know-how to navigate them. This means that access to a feeder school is often determined by privilege, and that privilege has ripple effects. If elite universities disproportionately admit students from these schools, it creates a cycle where wealth and access to top education continue to concentrate in a small elite group. For students outside of this circle, the playing field is anything but level. Imagine being a brilliant student at a rural high school or an underfunded urban school. Your transcript might reflect just as much talent and potential and hard work, but without the same opportunities to build a dazzling resume or to connect with admissions officers. Your chances of getting into a place like Harvard diminish. So what does all this mean for students who dream of attending a school like Harvard or Stanford, Yale, or MIT? The reality is, where you go to high school does matter in the admissions process, but it's not the only thing that matters. Elite universities often claim that they're looking for students who've made the most of their circumstances. They say they want to see grit, resilience, and intellectual curiosity. But here's the catch. Those traits are harder to measure. It's easier for admissions officers to recognize excellence when it comes packaged in the form of a feeder school resume. This creates a bias, conscious or not, that can put students from non-feeder schools at a disadvantage. And for students at non-feeder schools, this means you have to be strategic, make the most of the resources you do have, Seek out mentors who can help you tell your story in a way that stands out. Remember, universities value authenticity. They want to understand who you are and what you will bring to their campus. It's not about trying to fit the mold of a typical Harvard student. It's about demonstrating the unique value you add to the community. But the burden of navigating this uneven system shouldn't fall entirely on students. The larger question is, what responsibility do elite universities have to expand their reach? If 1 in 11 students at Harvard comes from just 21 high schools, there's a clear signal that the admissions process is funneling opportunity to a narrow slice of the population. Institutions like Harvard have made some progress in diversifying their student bodies, but there's more work to do. Expanding outreach efforts, building partnerships, particularly with under-resourced schools, and rethinking how they evaluate applications are all steps that could make a difference. And let's not forget the role of policymakers and educators in this equation. Addressing inequities in K-12 education, funding programs that support college readiness in underserved areas, and breaking down barriers to advanced coursework. All of these can help level the playing field long before a student hits submit on a college application. You see, the statistic about Harvard's feeder schools is both a wake-up call and a challenge. It shows us how entrenched systems of privilege continue to shape who gets access to these elite institutions. But it also reminds us that change is possible. So if you're a student listening today, take this as a reminder that your path to success doesn't have to look like anyone else's. If you're a parent or educator, think about how you can help open up doors for young people in your own life. And if you're in a position to influence policy or admissions, consider what you can do to ensure that brilliance and ambition have a fair shot, no matter where they're coming from. A Slice with Dice is a production of the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. I hope today's reflection sparked some thoughts for your own journey. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. Let's keep learning and leading together. Until next time, keep striving for growth and excellence. Thanks for tuning in.